The bear begged the man to release him, but the hunter did something shocking. The meeting between the hunter and the bear took an unexpected turn. Initially overcome with fear, the hunter discovered that the bear was not a threat, but rather was asking for his help. What he did next is amazing. In the heart of dense forests, a lone hunter named Adam finds himself in a difficult situation. The hunter's senses were heightened when he heard terrifying sounds echoing throughout the forest. Despite the warning bells in his head, curiosity overcame his fear and pushed him forward. With every cautious step, he moved closer to the source of the sound until he came upon a scene that was far beyond horror. The bear lay in the clearing, not only trapped but bound with chains and barbed wire. Every movement made the bear scream in pain. The hunter's pulse quickened as he found himself face to face with the predator. On any other day, he would have been excited about the opportunity to hunt a bear, but what he saw was not hunting, it was pure mockery. The bear begged for help. The hunter put his initial concerns aside, ignoring his remaining fear, and cautiously approached the suffering beast. He lowered his weapon, the only protection he had, and laid it on the ground. This gesture of disarmament served as goodwill, as a promise that he meant no harm. The bear gradually calmed down. Poor creature had met enough hunters in his life to know that they were only dangerous when they were holding something in their hands. This man's hands were now empty. There was a gleam of understanding in his eyes now, a quiet acknowledgement of the bond forming between them. But this did not change the fact that Adam was putting himself in danger. Any sane person would refuse to come so close to such a large and unpredictable beast, much less without a weapon. Yet he could not resist. The man who had been hunting as a hobby was now looking into the eyes of a creature whose body bore the scars of his hobby, and it left him heartbroken. Working methodically, the hunter first cut the snare. Each cord resisted and did not want to let go of its prey. The air saturated with the smell of fear and the metallic taste of blood that stained the bear's fur. Each movement carried the weight of uncertainty and risk, but one by one the chains fell, making a roar. Finally, the last piece of barbed wire was removed, and the bear, freed from its painful shackles, collapsed to the ground. As Adam retreated, he was overcome with sadness as he saw all the bear's wounds. His fur was marred by deep cuts and punctures, and the bear's limbs, once powerful and indomitable, were swollen and weakened. This was a stark contrast to the wild nature that Adam romanticized. Now, kneeling next to the bear, he extended his hand. "I'm sorry this happened to you," were the only words he could offer the beast. And he, although exhausted, responded, looking into the man's eyes. This was probably the only kindness that the animal had seen for a long time. It took several minutes before the bear was ready to move. Adam watched as the animal tried to get up, but he waited patiently. He wasn't going to leave him in the lurch because other hunters might end up stumbling across a wounded animal and not be as merciful as he was. To Adam's surprise, the bear trusted him and began to follow him through the forest. When they arrived at his secluded cabin, Adam took out his phone and dialed the local wildlife clinic, begging for urgent help. The clinic quickly sent a team to his location to assess the bear's condition. When the wildlife rescue team arrived, they immediately calmed the bear and examined it thoroughly. The team concluded that he had likely been in this painful state for several days, forced to endure hunger, pain, and loneliness. Infection had already set in, and stitches were required to prevent further complications. Without immediate intervention, there was a high probability that the bear could have lost a limb. Together, they carefully loaded the bear onto a specialized transport vehicle and arrived at the clinic. Over the past few days, there have been several reports of other animals suffering identical injuries. These were acts of cruelty, probably committed by the same person who enjoyed causing harm. The realization that other animals had suffered the same fate angered Adam. His condition improved every day thanks to the tireless work of veterinarians and animal care specialists. Adam visited him regularly, and every time the bear saw him, a light of recognition appeared in his eyes. These visits became a kind of medicine, not only for the bear but also for Adam, healing his soul and giving him a new purpose in life. Inspired by his experience, Adam became actively involved in local wildlife organizations. It was a moment of quiet farewell, filled with deep gratitude and mutual respect. Then the bear turned and disappeared into the dense forest, leaving behind footprints on the soft ground. Adam stood and watched the bear leave until his figure completely disappeared into the forest. This experience changed him forever, leaving an indelible mark on his heart. He realized that his path was now inextricably linked to the protection and conservation of wildlife. Shortly after the bear's release, Adam began working to create sanctuaries for wild animals who were facing similar challenges. He realized that much still needed to be done to ensure the safety and care of wildlife that was suffering from human actions. Adam used his story to raise awareness about the importance of environmental conservation. He also began working on programs to restore populations of vulnerable species, including restoring their natural habitats. Over time, Adam's name became synonymous with wildlife protection. His initiative grew into a global movement, uniting thousands of people around the world who shared his passion and commitment to preserving nature. Together, they formed a powerful network of activists, volunteers, and specialists working to protect and restore wildlife. One day, while walking through the forest where he first met the bear, Adam stopped to breathe in the fresh air and enjoy the sounds of nature. He realized how profoundly this meeting had changed his life and how much he was able to achieve through one decision to do the right thing. He knew the road ahead was still long and difficult, but now he had a purpose, a community of like-minded people, and an unshakable belief that even the smallest actions to protect nature matter. This story reminds us that each of us has the ability to make a difference in the world around us. Adam and his bear showed that compassion, action, and persistence can lead to unexpected and inspiring results, changing lives for the better.